Good afternoon, Northlanders. This is my weekend review. It's Thursday, the 2nd of August. It's about 3:30. Just come out of the House after a very heated debate going on at the moment, but I'll talk about that shortly. Now, this week we've had a number of bills going through the House, and what we're doing is we're finding business confidence has plummeted. We were second highest on the OECD. Now we're the second lowest. Massive downturn, massive drop in business confidence. When business doesn't have the confidence to invest and to employ, things go down the toilet pretty quickly, and that's the direction we're going. 10,000 jobs a month when we were in government. It's now dropped to 4,000. We are in the middle of strikes all over the place, and signalled strikes across the board. Some people are striking for the first time in 20 years. Teachers and nurses, first time in 20 years. I'll talk about one, I'll finish up with the Electoral Integrity Act, but I just want to talk about the Overseas Investment Amendment Act. This is a knee-jerk piece of legislation, ad hoc. It's a classic case of bad lawmaking, and this Labour government have brought it in as a knee-jerk reaction to the problem with housing. They think that foreigners buying properties in New Zealand is the reason why house prices have gone through the roof, basically. This legislation is in overseas, and it does not work. It's in overseas jurisdictions, and this legislation or similar legislation to this does not work. They're bringing it in, and then they found out that because of all these unforeseen circumstances, lots of carve-outs, loopholes, amendments, it's a joke of a bit of legislation. We're opposing it all the way, but they're going to put it through. In that bit of legislation was the TRI development, where they just tried to create basically an exemption for a wealthy New Zealander to develop a block of land for one block of land, and the reasons why they did it was an absolute joke, and it was opposed by everyone, and it eventually didn't get through because the Speaker of the House made a ruling. I've talked about this previously, but this is what this government's up to. Now, what I want to talk to you now, just wrap it up with, is the Electoral Integrity Act. We are debating it in the House now, and we are really, it's a heated debate. Everyone opposes this bill. The electoral, even the clerk of the House opposed it, all the constitutional experts, all the submissions were opposing it. Third-rate countries like that have substandard constitutions and governments, it's in two or few of them, but this sort of law is just, it's crazy, it's bad, it's unconstitutional, and it's dangerous for New Zealand. We're opposing it, and listening to those Labour and government MPs argue for it, it's just incredible. It's like, especially the younger junior MPs in New Zealand First, it's like turkeys voting for an early Christmas dinner. That's what it is. That's what it is. And it's unbelievable what I'm seeing happen in the House with these people. And I know that they know that it's wrong, but Winston Peters wants it to keep his party together, so to keep the coalition government together, he has to be able to say, if you cross my swords with me, you've lost your job. That's essentially it. It happened to him previously, where a whole lot of his MPs deserted and came across to us, and he doesn't want that to happen again. Basically, every suggested amendment submission, every person that opposed it, they've taken into account none of it. They're just forging ahead. It's incredibly arrogant. It's unbelievable stuff, what I'm seeing happen here, and it's really bad for New Zealand and its constitution. What we had is that if there were anything that related to constitutional matters like the Electoral Act, we always had an agreement that we would not push it through the House without at least 100, 3/4, 80% of the MPs agreeing to it. So we'd want at least 100 MPs out of the 120. We agreed that we would never do that without that. These guys are just going to push through these unconstitutional changes to our Electoral Act with a simple majority, and it is wrong, wrong, wrong. And I hope that they pay for it in 2020 at the election. Anyway, sorry to be negative, but that's the way it is. The good thing is my family are coming down, flying down to Wellington to see me. I'm going to show them around. They'll get down here at about 6 o'clock tonight, spend a bit of time with them, maybe go to Te Papa tomorrow, and then back home Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to that. So have a safe weekend, and I'll check back with you next week.